bring me right to this spot. I had to put it in like several times.
Lisa Denae Live starts now, only on Stunner Radio, the heart and soul of the culture. Lisa Denae Live starts now, only on Stunner Radio, the heart and soul of the culture.
Hey, it's your girl Lisa Denae, and we are here on the second Saturday of May. Can you believe it? I feel like this year is going by so fast. I feel like it was just January.
It is going by very
It's going by so fast. It is the day before Mother's Day, so I want to take this opportunity to say Happy Mother's Day to all mothers. I used to say all women because I really feel like every woman has that mother in them, whether they're a mother or not. But the older I got and the more I went through struggles as a mother, I was like, nah, y'all can have y'all day another day. It's for mothers. You ain't got no kids. Sorry. I recognize you in some kind of way, but it's different. It's different. When you actually, listen, when you actually brought humans from your body into this world,
Oh my gosh.
and then you have to raise them and nurture them and groom them and just...
And it doesn't end?
It never ends. It never ends.
They don't even live there, but mama.
Mothers, one thing I can say about motherhood before we get into the show and introduce our guests, it will swallow you up. I said this on the last show. If you're not careful, it will swallow you up whole. And you won't even know who you are. By the time your children are grown, you'll be like, oh, I need somebody else to mother. Because that's all you know is being a mom. It will swallow you up whole. So I just want to say shout out to all the moms out there. It's a thankless job sometimes. It is a very hard job. And sometimes we don't get no training. Who tells you what to do to be a mom?
But you know what? You don't.
It's natural.
There's nothing that you can do until you're actually
do it.
Yeah.
So in addition to saying shout out to all the moms, I want to say shout out to all the first in the family, like the firstborn, because you didn't experiment. And we do our best trying to get it right with you, but we didn't know.
A lot of us though had nieces and nephews we had to kind of help raise. So I was very experienced when I had my first
But
child.
it's still different.
It's different because it's yours.
Yes.
Yeah,
My nieces and nephews, but my daughter is definitely my case study.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely want to say a shout out to Lily. And, she doesn't take it against me. She doesn't, or anything. She is like, you're still a good mom. I wouldn't want another mom.
Oh.
Well, my oldest always got something to say. Always got something to say about, you didn't do this when I was a kid, or you didn't do, because my oldest and youngest is 10 years apart.
Oh.
So I'm a whole different person than I was when I was his mother at his age.
Yeah.
Like my baby now that's 11, I'm a different, like when I say night and day, I'm night and day. So my son was like, I don't remember you ever talking in that calm voice. Where's this voice coming? I be like, I'm so sorry. I've matured. I'm a different person. Yeah. I'm 49 with an 11-year-old. So I'm totally different. And it's just a different experience. But he says, oh, Mom, just think about when you say something to Zeke, think about how you used to talk to me. And I really do feel guilty. Because I was always business, get that up, pick that up, do this, do that. Mm-hmm. But now with Zeke, I'm like, honey, would you please get your, and my son be like,
Really?
Yeah, he like,
No, she does do that.
So bad.
And letting her do what?
Y'all both have two?
I have two girls and I have a son in the middle of them.
Okay.
So
yeah, I have 3 boys and I have a son in the middle that he don't carry the weight. He's like, I don't care, as long as I get my V-Bucks and I can play Xbox. Do what you will. Do what you will. I don't care. But I want to introduce our very, very special guest, Miss Sharon
McDougal. You can say Sharon McDougal.
Yeah. I'm so happy to have you on the show.
I'm so glad I finally made it.
I mean, I met you so many years ago. I feel like it's been like a long time.
You had a big hat brunch.
We had so much fun. We need to do that.
I knew I saw you, but at first I thought I was mistaking you for tequila.
They both were there.
You favorite, y'all favorite. Mm-hmm. And I was like, maybe that was who I thought it was.
And they both have such happy spirits. You cannot be around them without smiling. You just can't.
Yes.
If you're down at the dumb school around them, you won't be down long.
That's right, girl.
Spread the joy. Spread the love. Yes.
Oh, I love it.
But one thing I really want to get into, when we're going to take a quick break before we get into the interview, but I want to talk about everything that you're known for, being a modern day hidden figure. I just think it's amazing that we know people that we didn't even know were so great.
Right.
And for whatever reason, she don't toot her own horn. That I know of.
Well,
I
people
never
always
seen
say,
that.
why you never seen it? All you want to walk up and say, hey, I used to sit up the astronauts. As soon as you meet somebody, it's like, put it on a t-shirt.
I definitely.
Yes, I need you to know something.
It was a job,
Yeah, I think that's how we go through life, because we just do it. We don't realize how amazing it is.
Exactly.
But for regular people, it's amazing. Selena, 2nd degree black belt. She says, "Hi, Sharon."
Hi,
Hey, Selena.
she's so sweet. That's one of my Facebook friends.
Oh, hey, girl.
They scared.
Thank you so much, Selena, for tuning in. So we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with our special guest. You guys don't know where. We'll be right back.
If you're looking for healthy meal prep, family-style meals, or catering for your next event, look no further than the East Traveling Square Kitchen with Chef Square, Alan Phillips, specializing in soul food, family-style dining, and southern flavor. Chef Square can adhere to dietary needs like keto and bariatric meal prep without compromising on taste. Take advantage of weekly meal plans like the Starter Pack, 5 meals for $75 with 3 entree choices. Additional meal plans and contact-free delivery is available. Contact Chef Square of the East Traveling Square Kitchen today at 832-495-8836 and tell them Stunner Radio sent you.
All right, we are back once again. Thank you so much for tuning in with us today on Lisa Denae Live. We have our very special guest with us today. Tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are, what you do. And, it's so amazing, the things that you do and have done. So give us a little more information on that.
Okay, Sharon McDougal again. And I'm from Moss Point, Mississippi. Let's get that out there. Come on, Mississippi. All Mississippi people.
All right.
So I'm from a family of 12.
Wow.
And so I got a lot of that, what you mentioned earlier. When it got to me, I was number 9.
Oh,
like,
wow.
how's she getting it so easy?
Right. Oh, wow.
So, I am a former aerospace physiology specialist from the Air Force, which is where I got all my training to work with the space program at Boeing Aerospace, and then it became United Space Alliance. So we were the largest contractor for NASA, taking care of all the space shuttle side of the house. I worked in the crew escape equipment department, which were where the orange suits, the launch entry suits that the astronauts wear to fly on the space shuttle. That's that department. I started off at the very bottom as a C-Tech, even though I had almost 7.5 years experience.
Wow.
But I did work my way up to become manager. I was the first Black person, period, in that department.
Wow.
Only one of 2 women when I first got there. Then I made it up from technician to crew chief within a few years. And then from there, I became the manager of the department my last 8 years there, because the space shuttle retired in 2011. And I achieved all this without a college degree.
Oh, wow.
I just want to make sure.
Amazing.
That is amazing, because that is a big deal.
Yes.
Everything you said is a big deal.
Thank you.
Because first of all, being the only Black person anywhere is huge. We all know. Yeah. We've all been there in one way, shape, or form. Being the only Black person somewhere has its own challenges, and then being the first woman to do something has another set of challenges. And then
don't be a little cute either.
Oh,
no.
Definitely don't be cute. Because that's a whole nother set of challenges.
Yes. She only got it because she looked good. That's only this. I was like, no.
Yeah. I'm sure. And then not only that, it's like people think you only got where you are because you look good. And then they also feel like you're not as smart because you look good.
Right.
It's ridiculous. It's like, what does that have anything to do with my intelligence? Mm-hmm. But then the other thing you said that's a big deal, you did that without a college degree. So many people are in mountains of debt because of college degrees that did not get them anywhere that they wanted to be. So I think that's a wonderful message that you put out there, your sheer determination, your will, and it had to be some tenacity.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, ma'am.
Work ethic.
Yes. big time.
Had to.
I preached that. And that's why I was so mad I was late today.
Okay, we got it on time. We started on time. That's all that matters. So let me ask you, what do you think was the biggest challenge? Because I'm sure there was a couple of days where you was like, you know what, I'm done.
At work, no challenges, to be honest. Only challenge was when I topped out and I couldn't get promoted or any more raises, and I had to move up a level. And didn't know if I was going to be able to be promoted because of the whole degree situation, especially in a management position. But it worked out to my favor because I had been there bleeding orange, doing that job. Before I even got the position, I was doing the job.
Wow.
So they noticed it.
Yes.
And so I was pretty much treated fairly, even in the Air Force, because in my case, once I proved myself and they saw how sharp I was and I was a go-getter, they didn't have to babysit me. She knows what she's doing and it's sticking. She's actually retaining it, you know. And it was just took off. And in my personality, when I walked in there like I owned it anyway.
Yes.
So they were like, okay, go ahead. Yeah. I mean, you come in there and you present yourself like I'm not a dummy. I'm ready. What y'all gonna train me? What we doing? And once in the military, they show you, then you got it. They don't sit there and babysit you. They'll train you. You got your procedure to follow, and then you follow procedures. But after a while, it's just here.
Yeah.
So you're not looking at a procedure but except for the space program, everything was like step.
Yeah, I can
Which
imagine.
I had a lot of growing pains coming from the Air Force to that culture, because they write every little word, and you got to go step by step. And I'm like used to just doing it. Mm-hmm. Do it. If it's broke, fix it. Yeah. I come here, you got engineers, quality inspectors, blah, blah, blah. A 5-minute job would take like 3 days by the time they write it and just take forever. Right. And I'm like, I know what to do. Can I just fix it?
Oh, wow.
So it was a big change. And that's what made me stand out too, because I was working circles around these other folks. Mm-hmm. That some of them were civilians that came into the program. Some were from the same base where I was from, doing the same job. Wow. So I was fortunate that the job that I did in the Air Force trained me to do this job. So the pilots of the SR-71 and the U-2 reconnaissance aircraft, they wore the suits.
Okay.
So they had the suits. NASA got the suits from the Air Force.
Wow. Okay.
A lot of folks think because it's NASA, they had it. No.
Right.
No, it came from, they got the suits, pressure suits. Because you notice on the very first, the Challenger accident, they just had on like blue jumpsuits. Mm-hmm. They weren't wearing pressure suits.
Okay.
So after they had the accidents, they said, well, maybe we need to look at some other safety measures. Not that the suit would protect them if it exploded, of course.
Right.
But it's another measure of safety if they needed to bail out. So,
wow. Yeah. Wow. Amazing. Oh, so what do you feel like? We know your work ethic and we know your personality. What do you feel like set you apart? Because you said other people were working there from your base, but you ran circles around them. So what do you feel like is the main thing that set you apart?
I hate to say it, but it's true. Even though I didn't like all of the chores I had to do as a child by myself, pretty much, I think that did help set me up for that, because I had to be in charge at such a young age over a lot of kids younger than me, and kind of in charge of the household. Yeah. I mean, I had to make sure everything was, folded, washed, and hung, ironed, cooking, getting everybody's hair combed. I mean, I had to do all of this at a very young age, so that made me a leader, I think, at a very young age. And it just stuck, because that was my normal. That was just normal for me to do it. I didn't have, nobody had to say, you need to do this or that. It was just a normal, it was within me.
And you already established self-discipline. Exactly. So nobody had to be babysitting you, like you said. Nobody had to come over you and make sure you were doing it, because you had already established at a young age. I need to discipline myself in order to get these things done.
That's right.
That's big. And it's timely for Mother's Day, because I feel like sometimes as mothers, we want to give our kids the easier than what we had, but then we're taking away some of the good skills that we learned that come only through struggle.
Especially nowadays, because we don't let our kids struggle for nothing.
Right. These kids
they act like they're about to drop something with their kitchen.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm guilty of that.
I am too.
So guilty of that.
I'm guilty.
Because, people ask me, where do we get your work ethic? It's the same thing. I worked for my dad since I was able to walk. Even as a baby, pick that up, put this on the shelf, put this. And so I always worked. Didn't work.
Exactly.
I think that it's not for both of you. I don't think that it's just that. I think that you have to have that extra push inside of you. Because some people that were subjected to the same thing, they ended up just growing up and being lazy and just not oh, well, I don't have to do that anymore, so I'm not, and I think that you ladies just have that extra inside of you to push, and always, struggle for higher.
Yeah.
Some people, you have to set a bar for them. You set the bar for you ladies, set the bar for yourselves.
Exactly.
I'm gonna agree with that only because you have people that have grown up in the same household. Some was different, and had the same duties. Like we all struggle, but then they get older and be like, I'm done struggling. I ain't doing nothing else. I'm gonna get this little
Somebody
job.
take care of me.
Yes. I'm gonna get this little job, stay on it for 50 years, or I'm gonna get a sugar daddy, or I think you're right. I think you make decisions early in life. You decide, I am going to do this, and I'm not going to let anything stop me. And I'm not going to. I think the way you go through something determines your outcome major.
Yes.
So people who go through struggle with bitterness often come out like, I'm not struggling no more.
Right.
So I'm not, because I think for me, I always looked at my upbringing and was like, I got to be like my dad. I got to be an entrepreneur. I don't think I could ever work for anybody because of watching him.
Yeah.
But then some of my siblings had different. I don't ever want to own my own business. It's too much work. I just want to get a job. So I think it's those decisions that you make early in life that really make you
because I didn't have
anybody
in the household to look to as far as, because I lived with my sister from the age of 7. I lost both my parents at a very young age.
Oh, wow.
And so that's why I brought up bringing up my nieces and nephews. I was 7 and they were all younger than me when my mama died.
Wow.
It's like, so I had to grow up overnight from being a family of 12, and it's like I never had to do any chores or anything. And then lost my mom because my dad died when I was 4. So I never knew him. Wow. And so that's why I don't like when people try to use that as an excuse for not doing something.
Right.
I didn't have my mom or dad.
Right.
No excuse.
I didn't even know that when I said that. It's a decision. And that's what you actually made. You made a decision as a young person. I'm not going to allow this to stop me, or I'm not going to hold the bitterness of this. Because you're right. People who lose their parents at that young age, some people don't make it. Yeah. They're strung out on drugs, or they're bad parents. It's a
say that.
cycle.
I could easily been a statistic. I always say that when I do little talks, and I always tell kids that even though you see an adult doing something wrong, doesn't mean it's okay. Within you, even at 7, I knew tasting alcohol was wrong.
Right.
You know, even if you're a kid.
Yes.
So don't do it just because an adult is doing it, or make a decision just because an adult made it.
Right.
You know what's right and wrong.
Wow.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Wow, that is amazing. And it's so funny because you don't know a person's story. You just don't know. You look at people from the outside and you just assume, oh, she's had this wonderful life because she's done all this stuff. And you really don't know.
Yes.
That's why I really love sitting down with people, getting to know them, because that is a really hard thing to go through at a very young age.
Yeah. And people always say, why are you always so happy and Chip? I would have never thought. I'm like, you don't drag that throughout your life. You choose to be happy.
Yes.
Exactly.
You choose to be happy. Yeah.
And it feels so much better.
Yeah, most definitely.
I mean, it's hard to be miserable.
It's heavy.
It's just so easier to just be happy.
Yeah. So
let me ask you this. I'm gonna get off the career for just a moment and talk personally. Hey, Onyx, she says, hello, Stunner Radio and guest. Hey, honey bun. Thanks for tuning in. Because you hit on something that I really struggle with a lot sometimes in my own personal life. So hopefully someone else has this and you can help them out. For me, being a happy person has always kind of made me a target. People didn't like me. People don't like happy people. Because they're always like, what you so happy for? Why you always dancing around and singing? Why don't you go somewhere? And so I especially since I moved to Houston, I toned it all the way down, and then I started realizing that sadness was creeping in, and I would feel a little bit of depressed sometimes. And I was like, what happened to me? Because I started suppressing my happiness to make other people feel comfortable. So how do you feel about that? Have you ever been tempted to do that?
I have, because I guess just where I come from, everybody speaks to everybody, whether you know them or not.
Yes.
And when I joined the military, and I'm around all these different people, because I had never been anywhere, in a small town. And I noticed, people look at you like, why are you speaking to me? You don't know me.
Right.
And so I started doing like you. I started getting hard. The shell came on. I was like, you know what? I ain't speaking to nobody else.
Yes.
And then I had to shake that off. I was like, I can't let these people change me.
Right.
So I started speaking to everybody again. I was like, if they speak or not, oh well. So that was that instance. And then it started again when I came out here. And the women some kind of way. I don't know what was going on. The Houston women. I'm just like, hey, Club Oasis. It's not too far from here, right?
Yeah,
I'll be like, hey, I'll be in the club. It's like, I'm in the country bumpkin. I'm saying hey to everybody like I work there.
I do know. I
And
know
they
exactly
like
what
in
you
the
mean.
bathroom, you compliment them, and they're like, you don't know me.
Yes.
Why are you talking to me?
Exactly.
I'm
Right.
like,
Who are you?
so I kind of did that shell again, like bump all y'all.
I lived here my entire life.
Girl,
So, yeah, and I'm that person. Hey,
yeah.
and I do same thing. I do the same thing. I kind of tone it down.
Yeah, so I'm like,
Lately, I tone it down as far as people that I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel vibes.
Yeah.
And I feel like if it's gonna be received, then to everybody, and if it's not received, then I am able to be within myself and move forward.
Mm-hmm.
Because if people can be like that, people can be mean. They can, because you are nice and happy, they feel that you're annoying. Your happiness is annoying to them.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I went through something this week that made me just commit to myself that I would no longer do that. Every day when I get up, I say I'm no longer gonna do it. Because even my own kids would get, Mom, why you always singing? Mom, why you always happy? It's too early for all that, because I wake up, hey, good morning. I'm just being in a great mood.
Yeah,
it's happy to be alive.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Hey, Mom, why you always
Keep
singing?
doing you, girl.
And then I start toning it down. But now I realize that's affecting me. It is affecting my mental health.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to just be me. And, I just encourage everybody to just be you. And if you around somebody like that, don't bother them. Right? Just let them be.
Yes.
Just let them be.
Yeah.
Kindness doesn't hurt.
It's so much easier to smile, so much easier than to be all in the dumps. And then, you start getting these parentheses off. Sorry.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
I'm laughing so much. I'm like, oh.
It's okay.
Yeah, I said they're laughing.
It's a good look. It's a good look.
So I want to get back to the career talk now.
Okay.
So how many years total did you work for NASA?
22.
22.
Yep.
Yes, that is a long
I would have still been there if the space shuttle program didn't go down, didn't retire. I always make fun, so I'll still go by and try to swipe my badge to try to get in. It's been deactivated. I loved my job in the Air Force. I thought that was the best job ever. I was like, it's not going to ever get no better than this.
Wow.
And then, let me tell you how I got there, though. It wasn't a normal, none of this was a traditional way of getting the job that I did. Joining the military, most people do it right out of high school from smaller towns. That's normal. But the job that I got, my actual job was working with the altitude chambers and the dive chambers.
Oh,
so the chambers that the crew members train in to take them to altitude, to let them feel the effects of hypoxia if they don't have the oxygen. That was my real AFSC, is what they call your job. And by going to Bill Air Force Base, I had the second duty of working with the pressure suits in the aircraft, which was the fun part. I'm so glad those planes were there, because the chambers were so boring. Oh my God, they were so boring, just sitting there, So it's like you're driving and taking it to altitude, or you're inside with the students, the pilots. So working with the planes, you got to suit these guys up, and you go load the aircraft with the sea kit and the parachute. You come back, you suit them up, you test them, and you work. And this is every day in the Air Force. Whereas with the space shuttle, it just went every now and then. But they flew every day, and I loved it. We traveled every 2 months. I was somewhere. I was stationed in California, which was already nice.
Yeah.
And so I'd be 2 months California, 2 months in Greece, 2 months California, 2 months in Korea. Just back and forth, supporting the aircraft and the missions. And I said, it was so much. 18 till I was 26, girl.
Wow.
That's the
life.
That is the
And
life.
then when I was temporary duty in other countries, we worked like 2-3 days a week. The plane don't fly every day overseas.
Right.
So it's like you're on a mini vacation. I just had so much fun.
Wow.
So much fun. The best job. And so after I decided to go ahead and get out, because I was bent on doing 20 years. I was G.I. Jane, girl. I would love the military. And things started to change in my unit a little bit. It's kind of turned into a retirement home, and I didn't like how things were going. So I was like, well, when the early out come up, I'm going to take it. And I did. The struggle. That's when the struggle started. All my adult life, all I've done is work with pressure suits. So I get out the military. I don't have my car paid off, thank goodness. But girl, I was sleeping on my friend's futon, Lisa. Thank you for that futon, girl. I was sleeping on her futon. They said, well, this went on for 6 months. Nobody would hire you full time. I had no benefits now because, in the military, you stayed on base and their housing and, you had to pay for nothing. No light bills, cable bill, all that, nothing. And so I couldn't get a full-time job. So I had 3 part-time jobs.
Wow.
I worked in Office Depot, stocking the shelves. Then at night I cleaned the office building that was close to the apartment, so I wouldn't have to go too far. And then the other one was in a warehouse putting price tags on clothes.
Oh, wow.
So I did all 3 of these. So I had no time to, don't even think about painting your fingernails.
Right.
I get a nap and then I'm back to one of those 3 jobs. I had no life. And
Wow.
I almost went back in the service. I was so depressed. I was like, this is ridiculous. I was like, don't they know how awesome I am? Why is nobody not hiring me?
So what happened to get you from that transition?
Ray Villalobos, one of my friends that was in the Air Force with me, and I call him Lobo, so if I say Lobo, that's what I'm talking about. He was already out here in Houston.
Mm-hmm.
He calls. I don't know how he found me. I always say this because it was before Google and Facebook. Yeah. He found me and called my friend's apartment. I guess you remember Lisa. She and I were roommates in the military, and she was out before me. And he called and he said, Sharon, they have an immediate opening doing the same job we do in the Air Force.
Wow.
God.
Wow.
I was like, what? And he's like, and at first I was like, why are you telling me? Because I'm not even thinking. I'm so tired from these 3 jobs.
Yes.
And he was like, call his number and talk to him. I already told him about you. And I called, girl. It wasn't even an interview. It was like a courtesy call.
Oh, wow.
Because he already pretty much told him, And they said, come down whenever you're ready, Miss Cables. I was like,
wow. That
easy. Then come down for a in-person interview, no second interview. Just come down when you're ready.
Wow.
Girl, I threw my clothes in that car.
I
drove from California to Texas.
Wow.
Yes.
That is a long drive.
I drove it, girl, and
That's
I got
like 3
here.
days,
It
right?
was forever.
Yes.
By myself.
Yes.
I was like, oh, God. Singing along with the radio. I got here, though.
Wow.
You know what? Singing along with the radio will get you.
It helped.
It will definitely get you there.
And that's how I got started.
That's a wonderful story.
So
because it's
thank you to my friend Lobo for calling me.
Yes.
And the other thing, so this is where it comes in, where, your interactions with people at work and stuff. So if he would have thought I was sharp and knew my stuff, you're not going to put your stamp on nobody and bring them to your job when you're already working.
Oh, no. Right.
So he thought that I was a great worker. He knew my work ethic. He knew I was sharp, knew my stuff. So he called me. He could have called anybody else from our unit. He could have called anybody else that was already out. He called me. Thank God.
Yes.
Because if not, I wouldn't have been able to have this amazing job for 22 years.
Yeah, but you were worthy of it. Obviously.
Yes,
you were
yes.
worthy of it because he already saw your worthiness. And it's so crazy because, like you said, it was at a time when you were thinking, they don't know who I am. They don't know my worth. They don't know but then somebody all the way in Texas did know your worth. Put your name out there. Look. And that's what we all should want.
Yes.
That we are so known by our quality of work and our character, good character, that somebody all the way somewhere else is mentioning you for opportunity. Yes. That is a huge testament to you because, like you said, when somebody else worked there, they're not trying to put their job on the line or their reputation.
Exactly.
Because have you ever referred somebody for a job? Because I have.
Listen, I don't put my name on it.
No.
Because the employer will come to you and say, this person.
You can walk out on
They're going to start looking at you some kind of way now.
Right?
Like,
yes.
Is she doing the same thing? Like, goddamn, we ain't looking.
Right. So that's big. That is amazing. So I want you to say the title of your job again because I heard it, but I didn't really understand it.
Okay, in the Air Force, I was an aerospace physiology specialist.
Okay.
A suit tech, pretty much. But it was that because of the chamber side of the house, which was like the medical side of it. But we did have to do, take the vitals of the crew members before we suited them up, make sure everything was good, their blood pressure and all that stuff. And then they go put their that's not their diapers, the diapers in the astronauts, go put their underwear on, and they had what was called a urinary collection device. It looked like a huge condom. So they come out with their underwear on, and this thing.
I bet that was a sight to see.
Wow. And so, we get real up close and personal with them. So when you suit them up, they slide on the floor. And then I put one leg in at a time, and then they stand up and they pop their head, they put their arms in, and they pop their head through. And the zipper comes from all the way at the back of their neck all the way around to their crotch.
Wow.
So, but before I zip it, I have to put my hands all inside and straighten like the bladder, the material out because it's all bulky. It's kind of like when you put a sock on and it's kind of bunched up.
Right.
It kind of feel like that until we put our hands all in the suit and straighten it out and stuff.
Now these are the pilots at the Air Force.
Yes.
Okay, so what about the astronauts?
Same
same suit?
Same suit.
That's right, you did say that.
Same suit.
So what is the urination collection device like for females? Or did they have one?
We had one woman fly before I left.
Oh, wow.
Only one. Yeah.
Did they have a device for her, or did they have to make something?
I don't remember. I don't recall her having anything special because she was the first one. She may have had a diaper or just held it.
Oh,
wow.
Now the SR-71 flights would be like about 2 hours, but the U-2 would fly for like 8 or 9 hours. So you had to have it. So it would hook up, and then a hose would go to the aircraft, and then it would just go out.
Oh.
So sometimes you might feel something. You might think it's rain. It might be some crew member pee.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, Lord. I don't know. That doesn't sound good at all. I want to read this comment from Onyx because she says, baby, when you are especially beautiful on the inside and treat people with love, it's going to come back full circle. It may take time, however, you will definitely prevail. I am proud of you.
Amen.
Thank you so much.
Oh, wow.
That's exactly true. That's exactly what I was thinking. The people that say that you're anointing because you're happy in your spirit is that you're happy. Your spirit that will give you your blessings. That is what will bring everything to you.
But also, you might have that hat that says it annoys them, but you have the other hat that says, I love her spirit. I love how she's happy. So thank goodness Lobo was one of the people that liked
Right. Well, there would have been somebody else too.
Yeah.
Because like she said, it always comes back full circle because that's the reason why you're here. I really feel like people like you, the reason why you're here on earth is to bring that into people's lives.
Absolutely.
Because it's not enough of that. It's just not enough.
It's not enough.
That's why you have... It's not enough. So I think it's so interesting the job that you had.
It really was cool.
The inside information that the knowledge about suiting up astronauts and stuff. So do you feel like you've gotten the recognition from NASA that you deserve?
Not from NASA, no.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, I assumed everybody just knew who I was because I was in pictures with Dr. Jemison, which is the most famous astronaut, of course, that I suited up.
Yes.
And let me tell you about that, how the steps were already in order for me. I got there in 1990. She was assigned in 1991.
Oh, wow.
So if I would have got the job 2 years later, I would have been suiting her up and making history with her.
Wow.
She got assigned 91. I'm brand new, girl. My supervisor comes out when they assign the astronaut crews and writes all the names on the board, right? And we're standing there like waiting. And he wrote, I had already heard the first sister was getting ready to go in space. So I was waiting. And I was like, I'm the only one in here too. Y'all already know who's suiting her up. But I couldn't, I only been there a year. And he writes it up there, and I take the mark and I write my name right by her name. And like, what? Somebody got something to say?
Oh,
wow. Been there a year. Like, wow. You don't need
But you did.
I did it, girl. And so that's what I'm saying, how things happened in order like that. For him to find me, I got there just in time for her to get assigned and be able to suit her up and be there to take care of her and make sure everything was perfect for her. And that's all I was thinking about.
Wow.
But it's like I was invisible. I say this on a lot of interviews. It's like I was invisible in all the pictures with me because nobody ever asked, who is that? It's like a black girl.
Right.
But I still thought everybody knew. I didn't think I was a hidden figure. Because I wasn't hidden.
Right.
And then we're down here in Houston. It's the Space City. Everybody knows what I do. No.
Wow.
Found out a lot of people
do not pay attention to that.
Well, even people that do pay attention, it's. I feel like we don't get this pushed in our face as much as we get the other things.
Yeah.
Regarding NASA pushed on us, and we need this. We need to know. I remember, and I always wanted to ask this question to somebody. Is May her real name, or is it short for something?
Carol Jemison. M-A-E. Yep.
Okay, I always wondered if it was short for something. And that's
and the reason I decided to tell my story, because when Hidden Figures came out, I thought that was a fictional movie when it first came out.
Really?
I didn't know it was real.
Really?
I got
even
mad.
after you worked there?
Don't stop. I was so mad, girl. I'm like, these women are real. This really happened, and we 22 years out there didn't know nothing about none of them women.
Oh, that's not
No
good.
plaques, no nothing.
Oh my
It's like they didn't
gosh.
exist. Like they were invisible too. Until that movie came out.
Wow. So what has NASA done to rectify it since
Oh,
the
they
movie came out?
buildings and streets and everything named after them now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I started thinking, I'm like, you know what? If those women would have been around to inspire they could inspire so many young sisters
Yes.
to go into STEM fields.
Yes.
They would have seen them. I mean, that was before I was a little baby when that happened.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, maybe I should tell my story because maybe people don't know after I saw
Absolutely.
that.
Absolutely.
And so I reached out to my hometown newspaper, Tyler Carter. Hey, Tyler. Because I wanted to find a black person to
tell the story. Right.
because they would have had more pride in it and shared it better. I just think they would have done a better job.
Yes.
And so that's why I looked specifically for a black journalist. And I reached out to him and Janelle Ford. She used to be here on Channel 11, but she was in Mississippi at the time. So I reached out to both of them. I said, well, hopefully one of them will answer. I emailed them, and they both replied.
Wow.
And that's what kind of got it rolling. And he said, okay, I'll do an article. I thought it was going to be an article in the paper. Girl, they put it on the front page. I was so proud.
Yes.
My hometown paper. I was like, oh, I got the front page.
It should be.
And so
It
that
should be.
started. And that started spreading so all these different internets. And, we have the social media now. So that's major in spreading stories. Yeah, so that's how I got going. Yeah.
Oh wow, that is amazing. And so
I
is
couldn't
there a
believe.
book or a movie or anything in the works for you?
I have a children's book. Hopefully the illustrations will be done this year.
Okay.
It's been a year. I've been through 3 illustrators, girl.
Oh, I know the struggle.
Yeah, it's been written. So a children's book, Suit Up for Launch with Shay. And then I'm a part of a Courageous Women Rock, Fearless Women Rock, Volume 3.
Okay.
I'll be writing a chapter. I'll have a chapter in that book. It's like about 12 women, I think, are submitting chapters to tell about their story.
Okay.
So I'll
that
talk
should
about
be
my
great.
childhood. Yeah, it's coming out in October.
Okay. Oh, we gotta have you back on. We gotta have you back on to talk about that. But also, when your book, that's all you comes out, I know you're gonna do one.
I got to.
You have to do one.
I got to do it.
Because one thing that I don't like, a trend that we see in our modern culture, in terms of black women, you don't see a beautiful black woman being portrayed as a smart person.
Somebody just said that yesterday.
I mean, it's just true. If a black woman is beautiful, she's portrayed as some type of sex object, or she's portrayed as a Hellcat. The only thing she's good for is the bedroom and fighting.
Yeah.
There's no portrayals of beauty and brains when it comes to black women. And we need to change that because our young ladies are looking at this and they're feeling like, if I'm pretty, then I'm supposed to be mean. If I'm pretty, then I'm supposed to be dumb. And that is not the case at all. No shame on other people. I'm just speaking out for my people. I'm speaking out for my people. I mean, seriously.
I hear you.
It is different when you come wrapped in a certain package.
It is.
People don't really even understand that. You have a whole different set of struggles. So I really, I hope that, you come out with a book, a movie. I'm definitely going to support it. I hope the whole, state of Texas support it because it's amazing what you have achieved. What you have achieved is amazing, and the way that you just act like a regular person is also amazing to me. It's very amazing to me as well.
I'm regular. I'm still sharing.
But it's not regular. It is not. You're not regular. You are exceptional. I mean, and that's real. You're exceptional. And I think if we don't show exceptional people, then other people won't know how to be exceptional. Because I know for a fact, I don't know if you've ever experienced this, Lisa, but I know for a fact that growing up in school, I was always the smartest one in my class, made me very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Because I felt like I'm not supposed to be.
Maybe
I should come down.
Right.
Or that part too.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe I should pull down a little bit. Maybe I should try to be. But I started looking at, because my dad told me this, I started looking at exceptional people, and I wouldn't look at my class no more. I won't compare myself to my class no more.
Yeah.
I started comparing myself to exceptional people because I knew that I was exceptional. And I think that it's important to put people in the eyes of young people.
You gotta see it to be it, right?
Especially beautiful. I mean, I hate to keep harping on that. I hate to keep harping on that, but let's not act like our culture is not based around looks, because it is.
Yes.
Our culture is very physically, it's all about the physical, and unfortunately, you leave out this part.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So everybody's striving to be beautiful, but you
Like
can't
you
be
said,
both.
they judge a book by its cover. Oh, she's cute. She probably dumb as a rock.
Right. Yes.
And I don't want cute girls to feel pressure to be dumb. I want them to understand you can be smart, you can be beautiful, you can be an overachiever. All that.
All
and
of
still
it.
be fabulous.
Thank you. Prime examples.
Yes. And still be humble. Yes. But you know what? Also, I have to say this because this has been on my heart for a long time. It's okay to toot your own horn.
It
is okay because see, had I known who I was in the presence of all this time, I would have been asking for more information. Like I know this is so interesting to me. But we didn't even know
on the what's going on, what the situation is with event. If somebody was to ask, hey, didn't you used to work at NASA? Then I would, I'm not just like I said, I'm not just going around saying, hey, guess what I used to do? I used to work at NASA. I used to sit up the astronauts. I mean,
but why not?
But it's like it's a normal conversation. If it comes up some kind of way in conversation,
I get it. It's a little different.
Yeah,
it's a little different. But I definitely do think it's okay for you to toot your own horn.
Oh, yes. Don't y'all get it twisted. She toots. She toots now. She toots that horn. Believe me.
I just think it's amazing. I just think you have made such a great contribution to the country, and it's unfortunate that we have to fight harder to get our people recognized. But I want to encourage everybody. If you know Sharon, even if you don't know her, follow her on social media. Do everything that you can to recognize her and get her recognized. I was listening to this song the other day that I forget who it's by, but it says, "Give me my flowers now while I'm living."
Yes.
And I agree with that. Don't give me all these accolades while I'm gone. Let's do this while we are here. Mm-hmm. Let's recognize her. I think it's just amazing.
Do you have time for me to say one more thing?
Mm-hmm.
I want to let you know, you mentioned had NASA recognize me. No, they haven't. But let me tell you about this young lady, Natasha Lee from Detroit. She had an event here in Houston. And I met her there. And when she got back, she was watching some footage. And she learned that I was a hidden figure. This young lady don't know me from nobody. She brought me out to Detroit. Honored me in Detroit City. Like I was from there.
Wow.
They had this big symposium, all these amazing women there, a lot of school children, because I thought I was going, she surprised me, I thought I was going to just talk to some school kids about what I used to do. And they had this it was called Make Your Mark Symposium, honoring hidden figure Sharon McDougal. Girl,
wow.
They don't even know me. Never lived there. Girl. I was. She had a makeup artist come do my makeup and she treated me like a queen. I was like a celebrity. She made me feel so wonderful. And so she did this. She don't know me. This was a black woman. She just wanted to uplift another black woman. When she found out what I did, she thought that was so amazing. The Detroit Black Caucus Foundation presented me with a plaque. It was another group. Besides, and that girl is her company, that girl, being that girl. And so she goes around and she surprises people with awards. But she brought me out to their city like I was from there. So this is an award they give to celebrities that did stuff in the city. And girl, I was so through. I was just like, they had this big banner on the stage, like 7 feet tall, of me.
Oh, yes.
Yes. I was in shock like the whole time.
Oh, that is
I
amazing.
was like, this lady, but she don't even know me. Just a sister want to honor another sister.
And that's how it should be. That's what we should do.
Absolutely.
Because
we need more of that.
We need so much more of that because, again, you are worthy of that. You are worthy of that. And, I feel like it's okay for us to do that. It's okay for us to recognize each other. Exactly. And, as black people,
competition all the time,
Yeah. I think it's also okay as black people, we feel ownership. Somebody else you'll be like, oh, yeah, right? That should represent us.
Yes.
You represent us.
That look Michelle gave Kamala after the inauguration. Like,
yes, girl. Yes. We made it. We here. And because you were there, that makes us all feel like we were there. So it's amazing. So before we go, can you tell our viewers and listeners how they can find you, where they can follow you, and how they can support everything that you have going on, especially the book that's coming out soon?
The book is a children's book, Suit Up for Launch with Shay, and it has its own Facebook page with the same name.
Okay.
Yeah, it's so cute. And so it's telling kids all about the suit. The little girl wants to play dress up, and she decides she wants to dress up as an astronaut. And so her mom which is me. Tells her all about the soup parts and pieces and everything, so she'll be educated on that. And the other book is I'm going to be a part of, I'll be a chapter in the book, The Courageous Women, Fearless Women Rock, volume 3. And it'll be on Amazon, but buy it through me when it comes.
I know that's right.
Contact me to the source. Yes. And then my Facebook page is Sharon McDougal, Modern Day Hidden Digger. And on Instagram, I'm at The Real Shay Mack.
Yes,
so please
The Real
get in
Shay
touch.
Mack.
And I do paid speaking engagements too. Anybody interested? Contact me.
Yes, book her whatever city or state or country you are listening from and you would like to book her. Reach out to her social media.
Yes, please.
Let me read some of these comments. The Hope Coach, she says, love this. Flowers while you can smell them. Yes. Absolutely. Onyx says, come on, Queen. It's definitely okay to toot your own horn. It's in the deliverance. Right. Yes. I agree with that.
That's
it's
true.
how
That's
you
right,
do
Onyx.
it. Yeah. Stay humble and true to yourself. Trust me, people will need to put them shades on due to your glow. Yes.
You can get them on the dividend.
Yes, absolutely. And she says, keep your stunner shades on. Yes. I love this. All right, she got her shades. And, since you pulled out the shades, let's talk about this fashionista side that you have. Oh my God, I just love looking at all your pictures and events. And when you dress up to do something, you go all out.
You talking about a costume?
Everything. Every time you dress up for something, you go all out. Have you seen her?
You better go follow me.
Yes, follow her, honey. You have a Prince outfit that you just. I was like, oh my God, she did that.
I had an Alfred Bob shadow.
Yeah, oh my God, she had everything. She was like a version of Prince.
I am going to go.
You have a. I don't remember what was going on, but I think it was like some kind of floral headpiece.
Yes, I'm a member of the Red Hat Society.
Okay.
Hello, Divas with Attitude.
Hey, Red Hat Society.
Yes, girl. You know,
Wow.
over 50 girls. We got
So have you always been like a fashionista?
over 50 girls. 57.
Where?
Wow. Again, yes. She said over 50 girls. And we was like,
She's my age.
yes, 57. That's
Girl, we in
nowhere. We don't see that nowhere.
At all.
Okay?
That says happiness.
Happiness and makes you look
That is
good. And you look as good as you feel.
Yeah.
I gotta give my mom and dad some props.
Yeah, genetics.
They had a little bit to do.
Just a little bit.
Genetics definitely got something to do with it. But so have you always been like a fashionista, or did you go into that?
Well, when I was able to, finally purchase my own clothing. As a kid, you gotta whatever you get.
Right.
But I love dressing up for me. You know, people always say, "Oh, they just do that for guys to get a time." Like, no, I'm like, shoot, I'll get dressed up sometime and don't even go nowhere. Be like, hey,
Yes.
but no, it's just one of those things. I think most women it just comes natural. Yeah, but I love dressing up in costumes. So I before the pandemic, hopefully it'll be coming back soon. I love to go read to the kids at KNB Kids with the B&G Dream Builders.
Okay.
So I volunteer and go read to the kids at the daycare, and baby, sometimes the book has to match I get the costume first, then I got to find a book to go with my costume.
I love that. That's good. I know the kids love that.
Girl, they have so much fun. I feel like adults will come to more fun than them.
I definitely would go to that.
I put them on YouTube. Not the costume ones. I just read when the pandemic started. I started reading books and recording them and putting them on YouTube since I couldn't go see the kids.
Okay, that's nice.
All I did was I put the fish hat on.
Oh wow!
And I did some people from home like, oh, I love it. I'm gonna show it to my grandkids, and I was like, oh, please do.
So shout out once again to the Hope Coach. She says this energy giving me life today. Thank you so much. I says presentation is everything. I so love her.
Oh,
Giving
thank
you so
you.
much love. And then the Hope Coach again, something about women who empower women. Black girl.
Yes.
Stunner power. Woo, I like that. Yes. Because, one thing that I feel that we sometimes forget, nobody really can relate to us like us.
Thank
like
you.
we know. Just hearing about you being the only woman in a room, the only black in a room, we already know what that feels like.
Yeah.
So you don't even have to go into depth. We're already like, oh, okay. So we have to uplift each other. We have to encourage and empower. And recognize and love on each other.
It means so much to me when a black woman compliments me on anything, more so than anybody else complimented me.
Yes.
It does, because they really mean it.
They really mean it.
No props unless you really think.
That's facts.
If you don't
That is facts.
You know, a guy tell you look cute, even though you know you look tall. But sister don't let you know. Any compliment, I mean, from what you're saying about my career to, you look cute, all of that means so much more coming from my sisters.
Yeah, because we know everything. Like, we know each other's struggle because we are a reflection of each other. And I hope that we, can continue to uplift and empower each other, seeing that we have the first black vice president.
Yes.
And I hope that once we have the first black female president, we all can start to be more supportive of each other. You see the Prince outfit? I so wish I would have pulled it up so I could put it on the screen. Because listen, you guys, it is amazing. She really went all out for the Prince outfit.
That was everything. Oh my gosh.
But I want to thank you so much for being with us today. Are there any last words that you would like to leave to people who may want to maybe not necessarily a career at NASA, but a trailblazing career?
Well, I was very fortunate because my career chose me. So I can't say that I went and looked for it and found it by reading something or knowing about it. When you go in the Air Force, you take a test and they put you in a field that fits your test scores.
Okay.
And so aerospace physiology is what they put me in. So it chose me. I was just fortunate enough to get that amazing job. But make sure for kids, or those of you who have kids or deal with kids, make sure that you let them know it's okay to go and love science, like you already kind of alluded to earlier. Science, technology, engineering, math, all of that. There's nothing wrong with being smart. Like I said, as Lisa already mentioned, and be cute at the same time.
Yes.
And don't be afraid to raise your hand. I was that kid. I raised my hand all the time. I didn't care what the other kids said. The teachers out there, keep doing what you do, because I'm that one. I know it's the cliche thing. I'm that one that y'all got through to. If it weren't for my teachers, I really don't know if I would have made it through after my mom died.
Wow.
Mrs. Jennings, love her. She's still in Moss Point in my hometown.
Wow.
I was like depressed. I already know I was at 7.
Course,
I stopped talking. I was in love school. She saw that in me and she pulled me back out of it. I started loving school again and doing good and good grades and all that because of her.
Wow.
And then when I reached my senior year, I kind of fell into that funk again because I didn't know what I was going to do.
Right.
Mrs. Shirley Owens, she's passed on. She made me feel like I could do anything.
Wow.
These are both sisters.
Wow.
Made me feel like it doesn't matter what you do. You're going to be amazing. And she did. I'm sure she did this with other children. But she made me feel like, girl, throw them shoulders back a little more. Every time I talked to her, be in her presence, she was so amazing. So teachers, you have more effect on us than you think. Not just book-wise, but you're like another mother. You're one of the people we look up to. And just those moments with Mrs. Jennings in the 2nd grade, like I said, when my mom died, she hugged me because I was like pretty much grown at home now because I'm older than all the other kids. I wasn't getting no attention as far as love and hugs and treated like a little kid. She went out her way to do that.
Wow.
As a teacher. She didn't have to.
Oh, wow, she did.
But that changed my whole path because I definitely probably would have been a statistic if she didn't see that in me and pull me back.
Yes.
Pull me back up.
Oh.
So take care of my babies. Take care of my babies.
Yes. Shout out to the teachers.
Yes.
That made me remember one of my teachers, Miss Duncan. Now, she wasn't a sister, but she was a jazzy white woman. And when I say jazzy, she was so jazzy. I went to school to see what she was going to have on. Okay? Her wardrobe was always top notch. And it just fits so well. And I just used to watch her and say, that is going to be me. And I will never forget when we had a fight. This is like a turning point in my life because I always been so girly. And I was in the 3rd grade. I always been so girly. And I used to try to be like the boys because I got teased for being so prissy. But I will never forget. We had a 5 reel. She said, line up, kids, line up. She went and changed her shoes. No, and said, you're not going to mess up my Gucci shoes. And put on her rain boots. And I was like, it's okay to be prissy. It's okay to be a girl. She literally changed my life in that moment.
That's awesome.
When I saw her do that, I was like, okay. I'm okay
All
then.
kids always watching. They
Yes, always watch. So shout out to the teachers. I love that so much. Such a powerful, hey, Hope Coach. The Hope Coach again, such a powerful message. Don't be afraid to be smart. Ask questions. Be bold.
That's it.
Love this. Keep going. You are what the world needs. Be encouraged. You are the game changer. What a journey. And that is, that's big. That's so big, but it's so true. It is so true. That's why I'm so happy to have you on the show today. Thank you so much for accepting our invitation. And hopefully you will come back in October to talk about this book that is going to be out. Even the children's book, we want to know about that as well. Thank you guys so much for hanging with us. Shout out to our sponsors because I only played one commercial. I'm so sorry, you guys. I was so into this interview. I was so into this interview. Accept my apologies. And for the people that watch the show, we didn't get to the top 5 fails or the top 5 wins of the week. I'm going to just do that as a supplement this week because I had such a good time talking to our special guest. But we're going to put it out there. No worries. Okay? We're going to leave you with a word from one of our sponsors. You guys, thank you so much for being with us, and we will see you next week. Bye.
Hey, it's your girl Lisa Denae, and I want to tell you about a product that has changed my life. Rain Premium Sanitary Napkins. Rain products are infused with a Nobel Prize-winning material called graphene. It's the graphene strip that provides the various health benefits that can improve your quality of life during that time of the month. Listen, I've been very loyal to a certain brand of feminine products, but I've never experienced the results I get with Rain products. The difference is in the graphene strip. Using Rain products has totally eliminated the painful cramps I experience, and it can also help balance your body's pH, eliminate harmful bacteria, and help fight fatigue. Graphene moves heat away from your core to keep you cool and comfortable. Ladies, it's time to upgrade your feminine care with products that not only offer protection, but also improve your health and wellness. Place your order today and receive your premium sanitary napkins delivered directly to your door. Visit www.drfcare.com to make your purchase today. And don't forget to mention that your girl Lisa Denae and Stunner Radio sent you.